Hey, happy New Year's Eve. We are right at the end of this year and ready to go forward into a 2025. The main thing that I want to talk with you about today is just being safe. Not so much tonight, but tomorrow night. Every time I would leave home, Mama would always say, be careful. Well, I am. Well, be careful for other people because there's going to be a lot of drunks out, and that'll be the case tomorrow night, Tuesday night, New Year's Eve. It's almost famous for that. So, to the extent that you can avoid being on the roads, it's probably a good thing to do. There's going to be a lot of people tonight that's going to kick off the new year at the Stony Lonesome down at J. Reuben Long or at the Georgetown County Detention Center. And hopefully the vast majority of those will go in without having hurt someone. But just last year, I think it was, a friend of mine, well, actually it was Christmas Eve, but it was during this holiday season. But a drunk driver went across the road and almost killed an entire family. And the family that got so injured were friends of ours, go to church with them. And it really is a devastating thing and could be even worse. Thank God nobody died in that wreck, but it was some severe injuries, and the driver went to prison for a while. We talk about it all the time, how much our area is growing. And by 2030, it's supposed to be 500,000 people in what would have been 150,000 in the 90s. So we have grown by leaps and bounds in this area, which means the roads are way more full. There's always some sort of congestion, and if you're just in any way impaired, you can easily hurt someone. And I don't mean just by whiskey or wine or beer. We have seen a growing number of DUIs that have come from prescription drugs. You see on the container, it says, if you're doing this, don't operate heavy machinery. Well, a car is heavy machinery. A truck is heavy machinery. And certainly it includes more than just tobacco. And then if you add alcohol on top of the medication, it could have a amplified effect. So for at least 40 years, even when I was out younger, you would always have a designated driver. That's been around for a long time, and that takes a little bit of planning. That always works. Have somebody, draw straws, flip coins, whatever. Somebody's not going to drink. Somebody's going to drive everybody around. Second part is one thing that wasn't around 40 years ago is Uber and Lyft. And they may charge a little bit more because it's New Year's Eve, but I promise you they're not going to charge you $5,000 to $8,000 like attorney fees or SR22 insurance that comes along with it, or bond. It's not going to be that expensive. $30, $40 is a small price to pay. And what we found is that even talking to jurors when they're sitting in on these cases, this is a common point. It's that they have very little empathy for a person that would go out and drink and drive, especially with all of the tools that are available today, with cabs, with Uber, with Lyft, with designated drivers, all of those things out there. There's really no reason to drink and drive. So I know a small part of our audience on this channel, because we get these little graphs. Mostly it's people my age or older that watch, but that's our opportunity to go to really it's the 18 to 25 year olds. Now anybody can get pegged with a DUI, but for the most part it's younger people. So parents, grandparents, it's not enough to just say be careful. Talk with them about those things. You got all of the different opportunities available to you to get you home. I'm sure there's not a parent or a grandparent watching, or uncle or aunt, that if called wouldn't drive out and pick somebody up from a party. We can schedule getting that other vehicle the next day, but it's always better to sort of plan ahead and make sure that we have a safe and happy holiday season celebration to end 2024 and to ring in 2025. If you won't wash clothes on New Year's Day for superstition, and you eat black-eyed peas and ham, black-eyed peas and collards, probably a more pressing one is don't drink and drive, because the cups aren't going to be smelling your breath for collards. It's going to be for alcohol. Don't be on the road impaired, because they are really out in force, especially New Year's Eve. Stay safe. Have a wonderful New Year's Eve, and take care of yourself and of each other. And that's the perfect resolution to have going into tomorrow night and New Year's Day. Be safe, and we'll be back together next week.